Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn what are variables. So variables are like containers for storing data values and how can we create variables. So for creating variables it is the it is the first moment that will create when you create and first assign the value to it. So for example I am going to assign the value for like y is equals to 9 and c is equals to like for example John. And if I am going to need to show the output of these variables, so I'm going to use the statement which is print statement, which used to show the output of the results on your screen. And the output will be shown on the terminal. And as you can see that there is an error in this because there is no such command in these. So we need to change these values to the variable which are mentioned in the lines, and c is equals to this, then the error will be gone. As you can see that the results are shown in this, and the output is displayed on the terminal, which is the first value which is we have assigned it to variable which is 6, and the second value which is John. And we can also find that what kind of variable and its type are. So for example, like u is equals to 4, a is equals to, and and u is equals to of type int, and k is of type string, which is represent by using semicolons. And type int is like integer variables, like for example decimal values, without integer simple real values. And if we are going to show the output, we are going to use the print statement, so it is going to display the output on your terminal. We are going to run it, and as you can see that there is again an error which is occurred due to we have to use the wrong variable name. So we need to change that variable name. So in order to do that, we need to first change that variable name, and second, the result will be displayed on the terminal correctly. And as you can see that the error is gone now, and the output is displayed on the terminal, which is the result is the answer 4. If you want to specify what kind of data type of variable is, we can done this with typecasting. str and we are going to use the string mention that we by using this str it is going to display that what kind of typecasting we are using there, and that kind of that typecasting is string, and the value we can use any kind of variable values, integers, and for example int, and it is the typecasting of integers. And x will be value 3, and y will be 3, and z will be 3.0, because when we use the float data type it is going to display always in point in decimal values, because it is the type of data type in float that always display the result in decimal values. So if we are going to run it, the output will be displayed on the terminal. As you can see that the output is displayed. I'm going to again use another method, and we can get the type of data type of variable by using that type function. So when we need to find what kind of type of variable is, so we use that type function to find out what kind of type of variable is. So for example, I am going to assign j is equals to 80, and o is equals to assign any kind of strings, which is will be Josh. And when we going to use that type find, we are going to use that statement, print statement. So in order to find out what kind of statement is that is, and we need to find a type function in the print statement. In inside we need to use the parenthesis inside the braces. So and we use that print type function in within the braces to find out what kind of data type of variable and typecasting that is. So in order to do that we use this function of the type of variable. And as you can see that there is an error. Why that occurred? Because I have used double parentheses, because I need to use a single parenthesis values. So in order to remove that error we need to remove that one, and as you can see again there is again an error. It is occurred because poor logic of the program. So in order to remove that error we need to change our logic of the program. So we need to change that value of variable type in this j, and in also this use and o, as you can see that in the terminal it is displayed that what kind of type function that is. And as you can see, the type function in this values are int and string. First is why is string, because it is an integer values, and integer values always the data type of class is, we use int, and that type is data type. And when we use any kind of name in alphanumeric variables and values, it is represented by string function, string class. So when every time we use those kind of function types, there always will be resulted by print functions. So as you can see that they displayed on terminal. And another thing is what kind of single or double quotes is. String variables can also be declared either by using single or double quotes. So for example, p is equal to Josh. I have assigned that value variable to a string, which is a string variable, by using double quotes. And another example will be I am going to assign that value to by using single quotes, and the answer will be same. इस्लामाबाद भी वही है, अजीम भी वही है, मजा आ गई है इधर का काम हर जगह आई नहीं, किसने कहा हर जगह का फसाद है. And when we are going to run that program, so the output will be displayed on the terminal. And as you can see that the program is finished without any kind of error. And if we need to print that these values, we use print statement, simple type print and braces, and type the variable name, and another type print statement, and another output will be displayed on the terminal, and the output is displayed and the answer is same. And variable names are also case sensitive. So for example, like I am going to create two variables. So s is equals to like assign values to like 7, and another value will be like l, and another will be like Sally, and comment will be like a will be what override a. And if we are going to print these kind of variables, and what kind of find out what kind of case sensitive these variables are, we are going to use those variable names in these parentheses to write to find out what kind of answer we are going to find. So for example, s, and as you can see that the output is displayed on the terminal, and it has not override any kind of variable name, and it does not change any kind of results in the terminal. And as you can see that the result is displayed in this values, and the output is displayed in terminal, and the result will be like 7 Sally. And there are different kind of rules to write variable names. So the first rule is A variable must name start with a letter or the underscore character, and a variable name cannot start with a number. A variable name can only contain alphanumeric characters and underscores, like for example a, capital A to Z, or small a to Z, 0 to 9 integers, values, real values. Variable names are also case sensitive, like age, the capital A, age, and age are three kind of different variables we use in writing variable names. When we need to specify these case sensitive variables to specify what kind of things we need to write using variable names, and when we assign these values in these variable names, a variable cannot be any of the keywords, so we cannot use keywords when writing variable names. It has to be unique, and it can also be like simple age marks. And these kind of are legals, and we can use these to write variable names. And first example is my variable, and I have assigned a variable to like Josh. And we can also use this variable underscore using this, and also double quotes using this to represent variable names. And another example will be like for example rules, and we can use. And another example which is also legal to use to assign values to variables will be like this, capital V. We can also use this to assign values to the variables. And another example will be all cases will be capital. And another example will be like my word to. We have also used, as you can see that in this example, we have used an integer values as well in assigning these variable names. So another example will be like John Cena, and and illegal variable names will be to my word. We cannot use this because the first condition is we cannot use an integer first in this in this when writing variable names in at the start of the variable names when assigning values to variables, which will be George. And another example will be my word, which is also illegal. We cannot use this to write variables and names in this. And multi-words variable names, so this is it, where these are the steps and rules for writing variable names and when we assign values to the variables. And another thing in when writing variable names are there are we can use multi-words variable names. What means that this means that variable name with more than one word can be difficult to read. There are several techniques you can use to make them more readable. Camel case, like camel case, what camel case is? I'm going to tell you what camel case is. Each word except the first starts with capital letter. For example, and as you can see that in this variable name, each word except the first starts with a capital letter. As you can see that in this my m is starts with small and variable which starts with capital V and name which starts with also capital N. This is the example of camel case. And in Pascal case, what Pascal case is? Each word starts with a capital letter. For example, and this is Pascal case, and this is camel case. And this will be example Josh also. The Pascal case, as you can see that in this example Pascal case, in Pascal case when writing Pascal case variables, we all words which starts with capital letter. As you can see that in this my first letter is capital, and in another example variable first V is also capital, and name that first N is also capital. And what is snake case? Each word is represented and separated by an underscore character. That is called snake case. And when assigning this value to snake case, so Josh, so in this example, as you can see that what change in this camel case is Pascal cases, and in this snake case, these are specially different in by each other. As you can see that in camel case, the except first word, the first letter of every word is a capital. As you can see that in this V is capital, N is capital, and in snake case, uh, after every word we use underscore, like my after underscore variable, and then again underscore name equals to assign Josh. So these are different kind of cases when writing variables. For example, there is another example when writing different kind of variables, many values to multiple variables. Pi allows you to assign values to multiple variables in time. This is the simplicity of this language. CY. And we have assigned that values to in double quotes. And another example will be like cherry. And when we need to display these different kind of assigning values to the variables, we use the print statement to display the output, and we use those variable names in these parentheses to show the output. And when we run this program, so as you can see that there is an error. Why there is an error? The answer is simple, because we have already write too much parentheses in this piece of code, so we need to delete that to show the real results uh, to run our code. As you can see that there's still an error. Why is that? Because there is problem when assigning values to this. And as you can see that when we have assigned those real values to these variables, the different kind of variable names, the output will be displayed as usual. As you can see that the output is displayed by using multiple variable many values to multiple variables. For example, like we can assign many values, and for example 4 to 5, 6 to 7, to multiple variables, like 4 variables or 6 variables. We can easily assign those values to multiple variables. So this is another example when writing variables in this language is one value to multiple variables. And this is an example of when writing one value to multiple variables. So this is the example of when writing one value to multiple variables. So when we run this piece of code, so the answer is displayed. As you can see that the value assigning is one and variables are multiple, and the output is same. And when assign one value to multiple variables, the answer is same. Why is that? Because we use these multiple variables to assign one value to all these variables in one line of code. To simplify that, we need to assign one value to multiple variable to simplify our code. So for example, another example when writing variables are unpack a collection. If you have a multiple collection of values in a list for like table, tuple, this language allows you to extract the values into variable. This is called unpacking. What unpacking is, I am going to show you the same thing by an example, and that example will be of fruits. And that example is apple. And another example is for and is fruits of banana. And another example is of fruit is. So in this you can see that we have assigned value to a single variable name, but the what I have done in this example, I have done that I have done assigning values in a collected manner, which is difficult to show the result. So in order to display the result in arranged form, we use an method which we call unpacking a collection of assigning values to variable names. So example will be like I use this x integer and y. In order to display the different kind of unpacking the collection of single variables to multiple values, we use those print statements to show the result, and the output is displayed. As you can see that the output is easily displayed in this screen, and as have you have seen in this screen terminal apple, and I have unpacked those kind of collection of variable names in arrange form by using an packing function method, which is we use when we need to when we have a collected data of a different kind of any field in names or any kind of things which are congested in a box or container. We use this function method to different represent in arranged form to result show the result of output of variable names in arranged manner. And what is the output variables? When we need to show the output of different variables, we use what function? And that function is print statement. For example, like this language is awesome. And when we need to show these output of these variables, we use print statement and the output displayed in the terminal like the displayed this language is awesome. We also use a print state function to use multiple variables separated by a comma. So for example, that example will be like to simplify the code in single line, we use for example o is equals to Pishar and p will be ubg and l will be mass. So to show and simplify our code, we use single line of print statement by using parentheses in commas, and that will be written like this, and the output is displayed in single line. As you can see that our output is displayed in one line, in single line of terminal. When we need to show the output in single line of code, we use this print function to show multiple values in one line of code. You can also use plus operator to output multiple variables. So for example, P O G and L will be high. And when we need to show the output in different kind of manners, we use P uh, sorry, I variable name. Oh, another variable name. And we also use plus operator to show the output of different kind of variables in this print statement using single line of code. And that is, as you can see, that the output is displayed in this line, and the output is displayed in single line of code by using plus operator. So this is another example to write variable names in single line of code. For another example will be like the character work as a mathematical operator. It is also function also work as an output and as an assignment operator, and also act as an uh, arithmetic operator. As you can see that I have used plus operator to add two variable names, integer values, to show the output in these values. As you can see that it has displayed, and using those assignment and relational operators to show the results in these output screen, and the output is displayed on the terminal, which is 42. The print function also used to combine a string number with an operator, and it will give you an error. Why it gives you an error? Because we cannot add an integer and another string values using print statement. The best way to output multiple variables in print function is to separate them with comma, which even different spot different type of data types. So for example, a is equals, and we use commas to write these values to show the output of multiple variables in these values. So use these variables names, and we can also write in single line using this commas of print statement. So this is another example to write variables. So another example of writing variables are what type of variables are, and what methods and types of variables are. So another type is global variables. Variables that are created outside of a function, as in all of the example above are known as global variables. Global variables can be used by everyone, both inside of functions and outside. So for example, I create like an create using this variable names, which is x, which is highness. Use this my function method, and use this print function. And use this function in writing these values when we need to display the output in the screen. We use this print function when writing these variables in these names. We use this definite function, and when we run this program the output is displayed somehow, and there is again some kind of an error I think, which is because occurred because I definitely did not use double quotes when writing assigning values to variable names. And when we run this program, as you can see that there is an indentation error. And what kind of indentation error is when we see that there is another error because of definite my function. I have not used any kind of parenthesis or variable, so use this to show that, and still there is an error, so use this. Still there is an error because there is an error in this line of code. So another example will be if you create a variable with same name inside a function, this will be variable will be local and can only be used inside the function. The global variable with same name will remain as it was, global and with original value. Oh, the example will be Oscar. And example another is it is it is an example of writing global variable using double quotes. And when we use this my function method, the output is somehow displayed. And as you can see that the output is displayed using reference of variables. We need to change that to v, so specify that values return this function. As you can see that the program has finished without any kind of error. Another example, another thing in this language when create variable is global keyword. Normally, when you create a variable inside a function, that variable is local and you can only be used inside that function. To create a global variable inside a function, you can use a global keyword. If you use the global keyword, the variable belongs to global scope. So the example will be, and the example is, and assigning values to variable. We use this kind of function to show that global variable. As you can see that the program has finished without any kind of error. So this was another example when writing global keyword using variable names. So this is it for now. Today's topic was about writing variables in language of this. So this is it. Goodbye.